Today, it's going to be the top 5 counties that Kamala Harris did her worst in, but they still went blue. We'll do the same thing for Trump in the future, but today it's going to be for Harris. Let's get right into number 5. We've got Winnebago County, Illinois. And as usual, on Wikipedia here, the county is highlighted on the map in red. It's at the absolute most northern part of the state and shares a border with Wisconsin. Now, this is not a low population county. It's got over 285,000 people and has the city of Rockford. Now, what we always do is go down here and glance at the demographics. Now, the racial population here in 2020 was 64% white, 13% black, under 3% Asian, and Hispanic is over 14%. As of 2010, the median household income is over 47,000, and the overall population here has started to decline just a little bit since 2010, but it's still been over 200,000 since back in 1960. So if you add up all this population, how does that translate into the election results? Well, down here, this was Harris's fifth worst that she was still able to win. She got 49.13%, Trump right behind at 48.56. Now, the most recent time this county went red was in 2004. That was when John Kerry got 49.2, so Harris is just barely under that total. But it comfortably went for Obama in 2008. But ever since Trump's 3 runs, it's been in low single-digit margins. Hillary won it by less than 0.1% in 2016. Now, prior to the 2000s, it did support Clinton both times, and then before that, it was kind of a red-leaning county. And that's going to go all the way back into the 1800s, but there are a couple of exceptions in there. So in this first county, we've got a lot of population and a good demographic mix, and it turned out to be extremely competitive, but Harris still edged out the win. Let's go to number 4. We're going to go out to Virginia. This is going to be the independent city of Radford. Virginia is a state known to have a lot of independent cities in addition to their counties. So it might be kind of hard to see on the map, but it is going to be circled and highlighted right here. So this is in the western part of the state. It's kind of tucked away from most of the action. And the population here is not too significant. It's at 16,000. So we can go down here and take a look at the demographics. We've got a white population here at 74.7, black 13.2, Hispanic 4.75, and overall the population has dipped just a little bit, but nothing too dramatic. Now the household income data here is only from 2000, so I don't think it's really all that relevant, but we're here for the election results, so let's go down here. Again, Harris won it, but her percentage is lower than number 5. Here she's at 49.08. That was good enough for a win because Trump pulled in 48.56. Now the recent voting pattern here is similar to what we just saw for number 5. It's voted blue through 2008, then it supported Bush 2 times, then it supported Clinton 2 times. When it went blue in 2008, it was not quite a 10-point win here for Obama. He was under 54%, and the margin was closer in 2012 than it was in 2016. Then in 2020, we see the margin widen up to pretty much where it was at in 2008. That's about a 9-point win there for Biden. Then Trump goes up about 4.5, Harris goes down about 4, and that's why we see Radford at close to even now. Harris getting it with just a plurality. So a lot of movement there toward Trump, and a bit of a different voting pattern if you go way back than what we saw for Winnebago County number 5. Let's take a look at number 3. This is Minnesota, and this is Clay County. And this county is super easy to see. It's right on the border with North Dakota. This is just east of Fargo. So kind of a significant city, and the population here is in the mid to high 60,000s. So I wonder what the demographics are like here. Well, we've got a high white population, over 83%. Black is under 5%. Hispanic just under that at about 4.6. And this is extremely trivial, but we're looking at the 68th wealthiest county in Minnesota. The important number here is about 54,000 per capita income. And the total population here has been increasing in recent decades. It was about 50,000 in 1990. And now they're headed toward 70K. Next, we've got to take a look at the election results. Here, Harris is down to 49.04, but she still pulled out the win. Trump here again had a similar 48.56. Now, this was almost a recent bellwether county until it went blue in the last election. Biden won it in 20, but Trump pulled it off in 16. Before that, it voted for Obama twice, then Bush twice. Prior to that, it went back and forth between the two parties. But Obama won it by 17 points back in 2008. Then Mitt Romney closed the gap against Obama in 12. Then Trump did manage to pull out the win, but only a plurality at 46%. In 2020, Trump's support barely went up here, only about a half a point. Now here in 24, it's gone up almost 2 more points. Meanwhile, Harris did worse than Biden, but better than Hillary. So some fascinating stuff here. Let's go to number 2. This is going to be in Kansas. We're looking at Shawnee County. This is going to be here in the eastern part of the state. This is about an hour west of Kansas City. And the population here is also significant at 178,900. 4,800. Not a lot of counties have a ton of population in Kansas, but this is one of them. Let's go down here and take a look at the demographics. The problem here with the racial and the ethnic data is it doesn't look like there's anything from 2020. It doesn't even look like there's anything from 2010. So that's pathetic, but back in 2010, it was 82.89% white, 9% black. I'm sure that's changed somewhat since, but overall the population here is kind of stagnant. Since 1990, the population has gone up only 17,000, and it might even be on the decline now. So I wish the more current data was here on Wikipedia. But let's see what we've got in the election. Here, Harris is under 49% now. She's at 48.95, but a win is a win, and Trump got 48.45. Now that's the second time in a row this county went blue. Although Harris down 1 point from Biden in 2020, Trump also up about 1.5 points. Prior to 2020, this county was red all the way through 1996. There's even almost a 10-point margin in 2004. Bill Clinton captured it in 92, but before that, it was mostly a red county with a few exceptions. So it's not too often you're going to be able to win a county with under 49% of the vote. But with a third-party vote at 2.6, that's enough for Harris to have eked out a win. This will be a good county to take a look at in the future to see if it's going to start to go back red post-Trump, or if we're going to see a blue rebound. So there's one county left where Harris did even worse but still won it. We're going to go to a new state. This is in Montana. We've got Deer Lodge County, and this is kind of this smaller, narrower county located right here. It's in the western part of the state. It's a little over an hour south from Missoula and a little under an hour north of Butte. And of the 5 counties, this is easily the smallest population. We've got 9,400. So seemingly an insignificant county on the surface, but extremely competitive politically. Let's take a look under the hood and see who lives here. Well, unfortunately, they really don't have anything from 2020, but they do at least have the 2010 data. The racial makeup here is 93% white, 3% American Indian, and less than 0.5% black. Hispanic here is at 2.9. So overall, not a ton of racial diversity here. And the overall population here has been in a decline for decades. It's at 9,500 now, but it peaked at 18,640 in 1960. It even had a higher population here back in the 1890s. So that happened sometimes in some of these counties. Historically, there were different industries and different motivations for people flocking into these counties. But over time here, a good chunk of people have moved out. But that might make it more interesting for the election data. Here, we've got Kamala Harris at 48.79%. That's clearly way under 50%, but it was almost 1% better than Donald Trump at 47.82. Third parties here pulled in at 3.39. Now this county, you'll notice something different. It's very reliably blue. The last time it voted Republican was way back in 1924. Ever since then, it's supported the Dems. Now in more modern times, it voted for John Kerry by more than 20 points. It voted for Obama 2 times by more than 30 points. Given the demographics, these results are extremely unexpected. But once Trump came onto the scene in 2016, he shook things up. Hillary went from Obama's 64% all the way down to under 49%, just above what Harris pulled in 24. Meanwhile, Trump improved 9.5 points over Mitt Romney in 12. He got it up to almost 42%. In 2020, his support went up to 44.69, but Biden won it by a wider margin because of lower third-party support. Last time in 24, it's less than a 1% win for Harris, but this is the lowest level of support she got in any county in the U.S. and still managed to pull it off. And from the broader perspective of the Dems, the voting history of this county looks like it's something more out of South Texas than the middle of Montana, and they're in real danger of having this streak snap if this county at all gets any redder. But if it goes blue one more time, then they will have done it for 100 consecutive years. So there's a lot to look at here in this seemingly insignificant county in Montana. So if we go back to the full map, all of these places are completely scattered. We've got one independent city here in Virginia, then counties in Illinois, Kansas, Minnesota, and then out here in Montana. There's a range of different population sizes, from very small to significant. There's also range in the different racial demographics, and there's all different kinds of history surrounding these counties. The one thing they have in common is they all voted for Kamala Harris, but they all did so with only a plurality, and they were her 5 worst counties where she still managed to avoid taking the L. So it's always fascinating to take a look at different counties and see what their voting patterns were like. This time a few things in common, but a lot of differences overall. We'll do the same thing for Trump in in the future, but for now, let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of these 5 counties? Do you happen to live here or near any of these counties? How do you think the demographics play into their voting patterns? And which of these 5 places do you think are most in danger of flipping red? Could they all flip, or are the Dems gonna rebound? Let me know what you think down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.